Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut was one of the most anticipated in years, but veterans didn't roll out the welcome mat. Instead, they met her with physical play, trash talk, and taunts. While rookies often get tested, Clark's spotlight has amplified every jab. Opponents are learning the hard way that provoking her can backfire. She's turned disrespect into dominant performances, quickly adapting to the league's speed and physicality. Once questioned for her toughness, Clark has responded with historic numbers, all while staying composed and professional. When older and bigger opponents tried to rough her up, Caitlin Clark didn't back down, she fought back. Her list of detractors spans the league, from fellow rookies to aging stars. Many seem to believe they're better than Clark, but often fail to back up their trash talk when it matters most. One example came from Chicago Sky guard Dana Evans, a fiery competitor who makes up for her 5 feet 6 inches frame with relentless effort. In a regular season game against Clark's Indiana Fever, Evans tried to show the rookie that nothing comes easy in the pros. Unfortunately, she crossed the line from tough defense to something closer to a street fight. On one drive, Evans locked elbows with Clark and steered her straight into a waiting defender, the stout Chendi Carter. The result was a human sandwich that left Clark smashed between both players and lucky to avoid serious injury. The play sparked heated emotions on both sides, and it wouldn't be the last time trash talk and rough tactics against Clark backfired. Words were exchanged that the microphones didn't catch. While a lesser player might have been rattled, Clark used the flare-up as fuel, responding with unstoppable scoring. Swish after swish, she proved that intimidation and physical play don't faze her. Rather than retaliating physically, Clark took control of the game, reminding everyone why she is one of the most feared players with the ball. The Chicago Sky had tried to bait her into losing her cool, but their strategy backfired, contributing to their loss through ill-timed fouls. Clark faces criticism from opponents on both ends of the court. She's often called soft or unprepared for contact, yet when she applies the same physicality, she draws heat. A clear example came with Collier Copper of the Phoenix Mercury. After Clark fouled Copper during a drive, Copper immediately began trash-talking and attempting to get in her face. While the incident didn't escalate dangerously, it highlighted the double standards Clark navigates every night. Although we don't have a transcript of the heated exchange, any basketball coach would say that when committing a foul, the goal is simply to prevent the opponent from scoring, which is exactly what Clark did. Kia Copper, however, saw the contact as excessive and reacted forcefully, needing to be separated from Clark. Clark stayed composed, simply calling it a foul and walking away to avoid further conflict. While we can't know Copper's exact thoughts, it's fair to wonder whether Clark's reputation influenced her reaction. Despite the provocation, Clark let her game speak. She maintained her focus, contributing to another Fever victory in front of the home crowd. The score stayed tight into the final quarter, but Clark and her teammates shut down any comeback attempts. Skillfully navigating double teams, Clark unselfishly found open teammates rather than trying to carry the game alone. Her final assist of the night was a masterclass in poise and vision. Caitlin Clark's court awareness and ability to read the defense make her nearly untouchable, yet some of her harshest critics are veteran players who should know better. Las Vegas Aces guard Alicia Clark, a 3-time WNBA champion and reigning 6th Woman of the Year at 37, is one such example. During a game against the Indiana Fever, Alicia Clark, clearly frustrated by Caitlin's scoring, struck her on the head, a cheap, unnecessary foul. Video evidence shows Caitlin's head visibly jolting from the impact, yet Alicia acted outraged as if she had blocked the play cleanly. Such behavior reflects poor sportsmanship, especially from a player of her experience and stature. The referee's call felt almost disingenuous, more fitting for a rookie than a seasoned veteran. It's hard to imagine Alicia Clark behaving this way toward any other player, but with the league-wide scrutiny Caitlin Clark faces, she couldn't simply expect an apology. Caitlin, however, took responsibility for staying composed. She checked her eye, joined the huddle, and returned to the game with no drama, no chasing Alicia around, and no pretense of retaliation. In fact, the foul seemed to sharpen her focus. Caitlin picked up her pace, showcasing slick passes and deep shots, and finished with a double-double, 13 points and 13 assists. While her scoring wasn't enough to overcome a dominant Las Vegas Aces team featuring last year's star AJA Wilson, the matchup hinted at future excitement. Caitlin will have 2 more opportunities to face Las Vegas this season, and with her performance steadily improving, fans can expect these games to be thrilling spectacles. The Seattle Storm also tried to test Caitlin Clark, and paid the price. Multiple players used rough tactics in an attempt to slow her down, but none succeeded. One incident stood out. Storm shooting guard Victoria Vivian, a former Fever player, took exception to Clark's scoring and began trash-talking as they returned to defense after another deep 3. The scene looked tense and could have escalated further, but Vivian's teammates quickly intervened. The home crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse loudly reacted to Vivian's antics, but Clark remained unfazed. She calmly walked away to her coach, maintaining her composure. With Seattle ahead by 6 points in the second quarter, there was still plenty of time for Clark to rally her team, which she did, turning the game into an impressive display of her leadership and skill. The rest of the game was one-sided in favor of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Clark dominated from start to finish, driving to the basket, hitting deep threes, and making crafty defensive plays that led to steals. By the final buzzer, she had 23 points and 9 assists, while Victoria Vivian managed 0 points in 9 minutes. More importantly, the Fever won by nearly 20 points despite entering the game well below Seattle in the standings. After a close first half, Clark took control and carried her team, sending a clear message: messing with her mind comes at a steep price. While the Storm players may have learned this lesson, the teams play in different conferences, so the next matchup likely won't happen until next season. Even legends like Diana Taurasi, a 3-time WNBA champion and MVP, have had to adjust to the arrival of a hyped rookie class led by Clark. Taurasi's reaction to Caitlin's debut was understandable, but her legendary mojo doesn't fully translate to the present stage of her career. When she addressed the media before the season, her comments highlighted both the respect and the challenge that rookies like Clark present to the established stars.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
You know, there's levels to this thing. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional.
While Diana Taurasi's comments weren't overtly malicious, she exuded confidence that she was still head and shoulders above any rookie. That might have been true a decade ago, but at 42, she wasn't in a position to intimidate rising stars. The gap between perception and reality became clear when Taurasi faced Caitlin Clark on the court. In their first official WNBA matchup a few months later, Clark torched her. Clark narrowly missed a triple-double, finishing with 15 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. Taurasi scored 19 points for the Phoenix Mercury but couldn't lead her team to victory, effectively having to eat her words. Clark's brilliance was on full display. Her 12 assists showed she wasn't caught up in a personal duel. She consistently found open teammates whenever defenses overcommitted to her shooting. While Mercury players had their share of frustrations, no team has clashed with Clark more than the Cheyenne Carter-led squad. Carter, rugged enforcer for her team, often pushes too far in her attempts to deter opponents from driving to the basket. Though a very skilled player, her antics sometimes cross the line. Jendi Carter's on-court antics often overshadow her basketball skills, putting her in the headlines for the wrong reasons. One of the most notorious incidents came after Caitlin Clark sank a big three-pointer. Frustrated, Carter committed a flagrant foul during a dead ball, a blatant attempt at physical intimidation that had no place in the game. She was rightly whistled, giving Clark free throws and ultimately hurting her own team. The Chicago Sky went on to lose that game and were swept 3-0 in the season series by the Fever, so Carter's effort to disrupt Clark backfired. While Carter denied any personal ill will toward Clark in post-game comments, the incident cemented her reputation as a Caitlin hater. A few months later, she added fuel to that perception after ESPN ranked Clark significantly above her in a top WNBA players list. Rather than congratulating those ranked higher, Carter posted a bitter message on social media, reinforcing the idea that she harbors resentment toward the rising star. Jendi Carter recently complained on Twitter about her stats, claiming she has the best numbers in the league, though she didn't mention Caitlin Clark by name. The comparison is questionable. Carter averages 19 points, 8 assists, and 4 steals per game, while Clark matches the scoring but leads the league with 13 assists and 4 steals per game. By any measure, ESPN was justified in ranking Clark higher than her former rival, as well as several other top WNBA stars. Despite Carter's apparent resentment, She isn't Clark's biggest adversary on the sky. That distinction goes to Angel Reese, whose history of on-court taunting dates back to their college days. With both now competing for Rookie of the Year, the rivalry adds yet another layer to an ongoing saga. At least Reese has been candid about her provocations and handles media questions with more sophistication. She recently offered an interesting perspective on where the line for trash talk should be drawn.
People don't understand, like, if they think it's personal, but when I get between the lines, if my teammate right here went to play for another team, I'm going to be competitive, I'm going to talk trash to her just because I'm super competitive. So I think that's a part of the game, and just trying to normalize, like, trash talking is okay, but not taking it personal off the court. Obviously that has become a thing and people are just trying to make it seem like it's something, but I love Caitlin and I love her game and I admire her.
Angel Reese escalated a rivalry during a game against Caitlin Clark by committing a flagrant foul that sparked a media firestorm. While the foul occurred in the flow of the game, it resulted in another hit to Clark's head. True to form, Clark remained unshaken, adjusting her headband, high-fiving her coach, and continuing to play as if nothing happened. It's likely she made a mental note that the Chicago Sky were a team to approach with extra focus. In the next matchup against Chicago, she nearly recorded a triple-double with 23 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds, leading the Fever to victory. Clark's highlights from that game are a testament to her composure. Trash talk and physical hits don't faze her. She lets her basketball brilliance speak for itself, silencing critics without uttering a word. While she will likely continue to face provocations, her approach, staying focused, hitting remarkable shots, and leading her team to wins, ensures she will always come out on top. Eventually, opposing players will realize that trying to rile up Caitlin Clark is playing with fire.